Hello everybody and welcome to this short presentation where we'll be looking at recognition of the veterinary nurse's role. So recognition of the role that you perform and pride in what you do can have a significant impact on role satisfaction and well-being. In this 5-minute talk, I'll be opening up the discussion on how we can promote recognition of the veterinary nurse's role, and Laura will be looking at the important topic of pride. So, why do nurses want recognition and to feel valued? Well, of course, everyone wants to feel this, but why is it so important for veterinary nurses? Vet nurses are an integral component of the vet-led team. The contribution that veterinary nurses make to practice and the profession is undeniable. They have an enormous input to patient and client care. VNs undertake a high level of study and commitment in order to achieve and maintain their qualification and registration status. And for many, this also comes at significant financial cost. Nurses demonstrate a high level of commitment to the profession, their role, their patients, and their owners. Veterinary nursing is a regulated profession. We are accountable, regulated professionals, and this has taken our profession to a new level. We are the linchpin of veterinary practice. I don't know a veterinary nurse who isn't committed to what they do, and most nurses take great pride in being a veterinary nurse. And Laura will talk more about this in her presentation. So let's look at recognition from the public. If we consider the many different roles and tasks nurses perform in practice, it's huge, and we should work as a profession to highlight and promote this. There are other aspects which may help to increase public perception and understanding of our role too. So things like increased client-facing roles, so nurses performing more consultations and clinics, from pre-purchase consults to chronic disease managements to end-of-life care. Increasing the nurse's role in the community through client and public education and support and district veterinary nursing. Placing more monetary value on the expertise of veterinary nurses, so charging for nurse time and making nurse input to procedures overt. Social media campaigning can be an additional useful tool too. And on websites, it's really important to ensure that veterinary nurses are listed along with their roles, qualifications and expertise, and the services offered by veterinary nurses at the practice. What ways have you seen used within the profession to enhance understanding of the value of veterinary nurses? Within the profession itself, there's so much we can do to increase recognition of VNs between members of the profession, which will also feed into how we're recognised and valued by the public. The Student Veterinary Nurse Wellbeing Survey revealed that sadly, many nurses feel their work is not recognised within their profession, and in particular by veterinary surgeons. Maybe it will take a culture change in the profession to turn this around, but there are certainly things we can do in practice to improve this. And here are some ideas that spring to my mind, and I'm sure you'll think of many more during your discussions too. So increased delegation and offering veterinary nurses new areas of responsibility within practice. Education and training to ensure veterinary nurses are confident and competent and ready to be delegated to. Interprofessional education, so training VNs and vets together during certain aspects of the curricula so that they understand each other's roles better, and also ensuring new grad vets know what nurses do. Additions to the curricula of vets and nurses to promote the concept of the vet-led team. Development of a potential VN advanced practitioner role would help increase the scope of VNs, and the practice, the public would relate well to this from comparison with the human nursing model. Education of the next generation will help too, so through school talks and other activities to highlight veterinary nursing. education of what nurses do within our own practices through discussion at practice level and recognition of the nurse's input to patient care during vet to client communication. So we've been through an incredibly difficult time over the past 18 months. The profession is stressed and overworked. We have significant workforce shortages, and it is difficult sometimes to be appreciative and recognise others' work when you're experiencing these pressures. Many vets may also be feeling unappreciated and unrecognised, and we all need to look after each other. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jill, for that. I think learning about raising awareness is something I can definitely take forwards in my practice as a vet. I think our student nurses and nurses will greatly benefit from the discussion. And I know for sure that our new vets can have that incorporated into their training scheme in our new graduate program in the corporates. I've been asked to talk about pride. I think it ties really neatly in with raising awareness, and I'm delighted to be asked to speak on this. I don't have a lot of time. I could speak about it for a very long time, but I think our discussions will be hugely worthwhile at the end of it. So I'm briefly going to present this. The Dalai Lama, love him or not love him, says that happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from our actions. And just by being here today, you're doing something proactive to raise awareness, to be proud of our profession, and to take things further as regards mental well-being in nurses and student nurses. So thank you for being here. This is where veterinary nurse mental health has been for as long as I can remember in my time in practice, which is a very long time. We do a lot of studies on veterinary mental health and the suicide rates in vets. We do very few studies apart from what you've run recently as regards veterinary nurse mental health. And I think this survey results, it's a bit of a rude awakening. Also, it provides us with a fantastic opportunity, especially as our student nurses are here. You are the future. I know that sounds very big. I think it's really true. I think it's a perfect time to now change things for the better amongst the veterinary nurse profession, because you are so important to the future of the entire profession, and you're so important to our future as vets. So let's take survey results and use them as the impetus for change. So pride can broadly be divided into two types. The first is fairly self-explanatory. It's self-focused pride, and that's the pride you get from within. It's the pride that you give to yourself. It's something only you can do, and it's the self-congratulations. Pride is not one of the 7 deadly sins. That's narcissism. Pride is actually something that is one of the most wonderful experiences as humans that we can have. So self-focused pride is a form of self-compassion. Self-compassion, as we know, is the root of all compassion. So self-focused pride is something we should try to enhance, and we can discuss in a short while about how to do that. Other-focused pride is pride directed outwards. It doesn't mean it's me telling someone else how to be proud. It's about my pride in being part of a profession, or being part of a team, or being part of a practice who shares my ethics. It may be pride in my culture. It's a greater thing, a bigger thing. They're both as worthwhile as each other. The self-focused pride. It's the pride we get from self-oriented achievements. It may be passing the nurse exam. It may be passing our OSCEs. They're all huge. They're all really important. Many people will congratulate you for those things. Self-focused pride that I'm talking about really is about focusing on all the small things we do each day, very often without even noticing or without thinking. They're all worthwhile, and self-focused pride is something that can always be enhanced in order to make ourselves feel bigger and stronger. It's usually a short-term pride. That doesn't mean it's not worthwhile. It means it's fantastic because it can be punctuated throughout the day. It can be part of every hour we do. And it's something that we can use whether we're at home or we're at work or we're commuting. Other focused pride is the pride we get from belongingness, like I said. It comes from team achievements. For example, when we have a collapsed patient and we all come together as a team and resuscitate them. It can be that incredible feeling of pride we get when there's been a huge cesarean. Everyone's got a puppy, the dog's doing well, the puppies are doing well. You know the feeling. That's other focused pride. Belonging to a team, belonging to a practice, belonging to a culture means that we have a vested interest in this pride, and also that you as student nurses, can really know your role within this thing that the team has achieved. It's usually a more long-term pride. It's the pride we get from our makeup, and our makeup often is linked to our profession, where we work, who we work for. So self-focused pride, how do I enhance this pride that is the root of all compassion? It's really about you noticing what you're doing many times an hour, many times a day. Looking at what you're doing, noticing it, even if you've done it 300 times. Every time you run a blood sample, it matters. Why do we congratulate ourselves the first time we do something, like run a blood sample, hit a vein, use a feeding tube? Why don't we keep congratulating ourselves each time we do it? Why is it that we don't want to pat ourselves on the back? Is there a certain amount of shame attached to self-congratulation? I say there shouldn't be, and I think we should notice it every time we do it, because it's always worthwhile. It's the mini victories, the tiny little things, the slightly bigger things, they all add up. So John Kabat-Zinn defines mindfulness as being aware of the present moment on purpose, non-judgmentally. Being aware of what you're doing every time you do it is what I'm asking you to do. I challenge you to take 1 hour when you're next at work and notice all the mini victories in that hour. Each one of them is a victory. And see if you can make a great hour from that. Several great hours makes for a fantastic day. It's exhausting, it's tiring, but eventually it can become a habit. Other focused pride, the pride of the team. How do I enhance that? Belongingness is something that I think a lot of student nurses underestimate. You don't realize how much you matter to me as a vet. Every time I teach you something and then you know it, it makes me feel amazing. It makes the team feel amazing. We need you. You're the ray of sunshine. And I mean that in no uncertain terms. You're the person who's coming in full of potential, soaking up knowledge like a sponge. You're the person who isn't jaded. You're the future of veterinary nursing. So please believe me when I say that you belong to your team and we can't function without you. I'm running out of time already. I'm so looking forward to our interactive discussions. I think a lot's going to come from them. I would say, as regards Otherfocused Pride, don't underestimate how much you matter. Thank you, and I look forward to our discussion.